Good morning, good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to another On Tap. This time it's going to be Mortal Kombat. As always, I'm Sean, and I'm joined by Mike
Hello.
and Aaron.
Hi.
And Michael will take us away.
Okay. I guess because I'm the fan of this
The only
franchise.
one who liked this movie?
Oh, good. Yes. So we're here to talk about Mortal Kombat 2021. Hopefully this episode goes better than the last time we talked about Mortal Kombat.
Well, we are talking about one that's better. So,
According to some people,
oh yeah.
that's one talking point. I don't really have a thing. Let's talk about the plot. So this one, it was very different because when you get to the end of the movie, you realize, oh, we're not going to see the tournament. So it's kind of like
through everyone.
Yeah. So it's basically a prequel to the actual tournament, which makes a lot of sense with some story beats that we'll probably go over. Basically, we follow
Cole Young.
Cole Young. Yes, I was trying to think of his
He's
name.
a brand new character, which is pretty ballsy for a
franchise that has over 100 characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know why they did that? Because when they update Mortal Kombat, they'll be like, play as Cole Young, you know.
Yeah, I don't know if
they'll do it.
Oh,
They'll do it just
there's
to
no
sell.
way that he's not going to be in the next
I
game.
mean, I don't know Ed Boon's. Ed Boon.
Listen, he put RoboCop and Terminator in there. He's gonna
Well, that's
put Cole
'cause
Young in there.
It's cool. No, pun
This is
intended.
Cole.
So yeah, we follow him basically.
Yeah, down and out MMA fighter who's just trying to provide for his family, who happens to be the descendant of Hanzo Hisoshi, Scorpion.
Scorpion.
How convenient.
Yeah, how very convenient. Yeah, so basically just, well, he's actually sought out by Jax, who has a mark. Cole has a mark from birth that also Hanzo has, basically signifying that he has been chosen to participate in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. So the reason they know Cole Young is one of them is obviously because it's seen because he's a fighter, no shirt, so it's on his chest, so it's very, very prominent. Everybody thinks it's a tattoo. Yeah,
that's one scene that gets me. I know we're jumping ahead a little bit, but so in the scene where Cole goes and meets Sonya, she jumps him and they start fighting, and then she's like, "Where's your mark?" And he shows it to her, and in the very next scene, she's like, "Yeah, we've been watching you." It's like, then you should know who the fuck that is. Why do you ask him who he is and ask you to show
that's true.
your mark?
Yeah,
Like,
she's
what?
got several pictures of him hanging
Yeah,
out.
it's like, yeah, we've been investigating into this phenomenon for a while, and it has like 12 pictures of him. It's like,
Yeah, that's true.
well, what the fuck?
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that. That's funny. So anyway, so we start the movie off with probably it's up there, one of the best
I think
parts
it's
of
the best in the entire movie. And it's funny because
I personally like the later
they marketed the movie like 2 days before it came out on HBO Max by just posting that scene on the internet.
All 7 minutes.
It's like, we'll just post our best scene of the movie online and expect that to be, fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets people to go see the movie and
That's true.
watch it, but it's the best scene in the movie. Why would you use that as your marketing?
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me.
Should have put, I don't know, like a different, just.
I mean, that's what people want to watch is Sub-Zero and Scorpion fighting.
That's true. I mean, that's
And that opening was very much like the animated movie.
Yeah.
Scorpion's Revenge. Not nearly as gory, but it was kind of the same basic.
It was pretty
thing.
gory though.
Yeah, I think the animated's a little bit more gory though.
Yeah. So since we have that to reference, because we watched that,
we've watched every Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah,
every one of them.
But which do you guys like better? Because this is one
Scorpion's Revenge.
Yeah, the animated version.
So
Hands
you like the Quan Chi?
The story? I mean, the story is completely different in this one.
Right.
Yeah,
it's clearly Sub-Zero.
It's actually Bi-Han. I mean, So in this movie, it's just he's obviously a part of Mortal Kombat 2. So like that's why he killed him.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how he remains alive centuries. I mean, he's basically just a specter, the same as Scorpion is, but for some reason, whenever Hanzo just burnt away and then he is revealed to be Scorpion later on in the movie, that makes more sense to me than just Sub-Zero, because he's still the same age as like a ghost that he was when he killed Hanzo. Yeah. But it's implied that Sub-Zero goes on to live the rest of his life.
Yeah, I was confused on that too. I wrote it off as something Shang Tsung was doing. You know, he's probably keeping him alive, or he died at some point and they resurrected him or something. I mean,
this one just makes more sense. I mean, I don't really care for Quan Chi, whatever. I thought that it was going to be that again.
Yeah.
But, they're both on the same level as a story to me. Just, it's because it actually gives Sub-Zero agency as a character in this movie, as in where in the animated version, in most of the story, he's used as a tool to use Scorpion.
Yeah, because Scorpion just wants to kill him. Yeah. So he didn't really have a story.
Yeah, so he doesn't have any agency outside of him participating in Mortal Kombat.
Right.
In the original storyline. This one actually just gives him, I mean, again, it's just him participating in Mortal Kombat,
a great villain.
But he has his own motivation rather than just being a tool to use against Scorpion, which I think I like better. I'm not really sure.
Yeah. I don't know. That's one thing that people have been bringing up, and I'm like, I don't really care either way.
Yeah.
Like, I can take it.
I mean,
one way or
at the same point, why do you want to see the same thing over and over and over and over and over again?
Right.
You know, like they made the protagonist of this movie is a brand new character, so obviously they're going to take liberties with and then change things around. And we see that later with the introduction of Arcana as well. I know some people are really upset about that, but whatever.
It don't bother me. I guess
I think it's kind of stupid that his Arcana is just bigger robot arms.
Yeah, that's probably the worst one. Actually,
I have these weak arms. I can't punch and fight. But then I unlock my Arcana and I got big arms, so now I can punch and fight. So Jax as a character is just as bad in this movie than he is in the original
Annihilation.
Yeah, in Annihilation.
Really? I didn't think it was that bad.
I thought that his actor, like, especially in, like, the first scene, whenever he's, like, he rescues Cole and his family, and he's like, get out of here, I'll take Sub-Zero. I thought he was horrible.
Really?
Yeah, he was fucking awful.
He played...
Jax.
He was in Supergirl. What's that reporter?
Jimmy Olsen?
Or Jimmy Olsen. Yeah. That's who he is.
Like the scene when Sub-Zero freezes his shotgun bullets. It's really cool.
Yeah.
But, like, he just sucks. Like, as an actor in that scene, he's bad.
So we're going to rename him Sucks.
Yeah, he sucks.
Sucks and Briggs.
Sucks and Briggs. That's it.
Because Jackson. I don't know. I feel like we could go all over the place.
Well, this movie does.
Yeah. I was waiting for one of you guys to bring up for one, in the fight scenes, the quick cuts.
Yeah, the action scene, like the actions are pretty good, but it suffers from the edit being like all these different angles.
Taken 3 syndrome.
Yeah, I mean not nearly to that extreme, but it does suffer from having a lot of quick cuts.
Yeah. So they have to run away from Sub-Zero.
Forever.
Jax. Yeah, basically.
Like that's the entire movie. Is just this is literally the Terminator, except they're running away from Sub-Zero.
I love
there are other like
an alpha threat.
Yeah, there are other antagonists that also are after them too.
I love like the horror aspect of Sub-Zero. Like there's one shot where he catches up with the family, and he's like, the wife walks by the door, and he's just there at the door. Like, I love that stuff. I could take a horror movie with Sub-Zero.
I mean, didn't I believe on the credits, didn't James Wan like help produce this movie or something?
I'm not sure about that.
Yes.
No, I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah.
Because I thought I saw his name in the credits, and I was like, oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah,
I mean, the set pieces are really cool. Like, especially the one where he fights Jax, where it's just like that. Well, he should have died, by the way, because he falls off and like smacks his head off of the railing.
Rebar.
Yeah, rebar.
It wasn't just railing. He like hit his head off rebar, and I was like, oh, how are they gonna bring Jax back?
I was like, yeah, he should be fucking dead after that. And and then obviously the climax where it's the frozen MMA gym, which I found kind of hilarious. It's like
it was
fighting in an MMA fucking octagon.
It was, but like,
and it was legit the one from the beginning, right?
Yeah. Because I was thinking that, I'm like, oh, here it comes full circle again. Like, but there was also like the thought in my mind, like, knowing marketing and all that, I was like, oh, this is gonna be the next big map on the DLC for Mortal Kombat. And then I was like thinking about it, and I was like, if this were the 90s, there'd be a play set of this MMA ring frozen that you could like slide the characters across and like bounce them off.
Like, it was cool when they were hitting the cage and like the pieces of ice were falling.
Yeah, it looked great. It really did.
What I was gonna say was New Line Cinema is good at horror because that's all they make anymore.
Okay.
Because they don't like. They used to do comedies in the 90s and early 2000s, but now they just don't do that, and they just strictly horror or low-budget, like, action movies. I honestly didn't know that New Line Cinemas was still producing movies until this showed up, and I saw it was New Line Cinemas, and I was like, huh.
I didn't know either.
They're still alive. Oh, one big thing. Remember we talked about the blue lighting from the 90s? Because for whatever fucking reason, they just decided to do that. The scene where Jax goes in to find Sub-Zero after the family escapes, the whole room was lit with that same blue, and I was sitting in my bed and I went, blue light! Like,
yeah.
I was like, they're bringing it back.
Yeah. So, there's a bunch of Easter eggs throughout this movie. So since we're still on the Jax scene, when he walks by the one wall, it actually says down. What's it say? Down, right, and then circle.
A combo.
It's literally Sub-Zero's freeze combo.
Oh, nice.
Like, that's how you do that move. I was like, wow. So
I thought it was cool how they actually had that one. Like, I wanted them to use it in the other movies, but obviously, they didn't have that kind of technology back then. But the one where it's like he jumps back and he leaves like an ice formation.
He did do that.
That's what I was saying. I like that he used that move in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's like his coolest move. It's just a dodge, but
yeah, it's one of those. That ice wall though, that's it's relatively new. It's just a grab and
just throws him through an ice wall.
He just throws him through the wall. Yeah.
I liked Goro. Goro looked a lot better.
I don't know. I don't know which one I like
better.
I'm not sure which one I prefer.
He didn't look like a man staring out of a chest cavity because the rest of the suit was way too tall to be believable. I hate suits like that in movies where they're like, clearly the dude's head is here and like here's the chest, but then it's like way up here.
I've never noticed.
Is the head like it looks like it's running on baby legs? like if you watch Mortal Kombat again, like Goro just looks like he's running on baby legs with like enormous arms.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, it kind of works because he in that movie he like more fights like a gorilla type, so he with that animated face that just reminds me of Chucky. Like the way that the mouth moves and everything. But when he attacks, like you're like, okay, well, a gorilla has extremely long arms. It would have made more sense if Goro in the old movie had like charged like a gorilla.
Yeah.
But instead, they just made him walk on two legs, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, walk like an infant.
Yeah. pretty much.
Well, yeah, he did look better. I mean, he was entirely CG in this one.
Yeah.
I mean, the effects obviously benefit from the time it was created.
Yeah.
Also,
It looks a lot better.
The costume design.
Yeah, the
too.
costume was pretty good.
Because the costume
On
design,
point.
yeah, it looks like it's straight from the video.
The
game.
best one is Kung Lao. Like
Yeah.
it's literally the same.
Oh yeah,
suit.
Kung Lao looked exact,
Yeah.
and I was like, wow. What was the other thing that I wanted to bring up about? It was about the costuming, I think. Right, it was about one of the characters.
Was it?
Oh, Scorpion.
Oh.
So Scorpion, because I kept looking at the actor, and I was like, I know you from somewhere,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then I realized that,
Several places.
yeah, but the one that I was thinking of, and then I Googled it and found out that he is the Yakuza boss
I knew you were gonna say
Akihiko in Endgame.
Yeah.
Because I was like, man, I know him from somewhere. And then I was like, oh, Hawkeye killed him in Endgame.
See, when you were talking about costume design, I thought you were going to bring up Cole's Wonder Woman suit.
Literal plot armor.
Yeah, it is plot armor.
Literal plot armor.
I was in agreement, and I mean I still agree. But two things made me kind of understand it more.
It's just Black Panther's armor.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It just absorbs the energy to push it right back.
They at least set it up correct with him being just a human punching bag.
Yeah, they said he could take a beating.
Yeah.
Whenever
And then
they introduced him as a character, so
like I didn't catch it the first time, and I don't think a lot of people did. When he finds his Akana, it comes from the bracelet that his daughter made. Like it originates from that because it's a protection bracelet. That she says that at the beginning.
I thought she said it was a friendship bracelet.
No.
I was like,
Yeah,
I
it's
got
like
sad.
it's like a I forget the wording she said, but it's essentially like a protection.
Let's
bracelet.
talk about the daughter for a second.
Yeah.
Did he have her when he was like 12? That kid is way too old to be his daughter.
Yeah.
yeah.
Honestly,
That whole family is so weird.
Did they adopt her?
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Like, so he's like supposed to be like struggling to provide for his family. They live in a nice fucking house.
Yeah.
Like he's
Yeah.
getting paid $200.
was that their home?
I think. Why else would they be? Or no, was it just them hiding there?
It was them hiding somewhere.
You're right.
They didn't really say
You could
where.
be right. It could have
Yeah.
just been a safe house.
Maybe
My
it was
mistake.
Jack's house or something
Maybe.
like that.
But yeah,
Heck, yeah.
either way, he's like getting paid $200 to get the snot kicked out of him.
Yeah, I mean that's I don't know. It's probably not good money, but
Probably not good money at all if you're gonna play.
Not if you have hospital bills to
Yeah,
pay
exactly.
afterward,
That's
because that ain't
exactly.
covering shit.
Yeah,
Right.
no, that's like it's not even worth the price of
No.
at all.
so the next character we're introduced in the order of things. We've mentioned Sonya.
Oh, shit, we're that far back in the beginning.
I mean technically because
Oh, I feel like we just like jumped all the way
we've jumped.
through.
Yeah, we've jumped, but the best part of this movie, hands down, is Kano.
Kano steals the show.
Like that dude. I don't know what his credits are prior to this.
I've never seen him in anything.
Okay, but scene stealer, like just straight up.
Oh yeah. Which
Like-
shocked me because when we watched the first Mortal Kombat, I was like, oh, I hate Kano. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm like, this dude
You're
sucks.
supposed to.
No, I know,
Yeah.
but you're like, please stop talking.
but they didn't give him much outside of the fact that he was just a criminal.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
same thing in the animated one,
Yeah,
because Kano's just kind of
they're just chasing him down.
He's like a dog that they just send out after them.
Mhm.
Like
I
he
literally
doesn't have
forgot he
any-
was even in the animated
yeah,
version.
right. So I mean, he doesn't even do anything.
That's the thing.
He
He's
does
always
nothing of significance. He doesn't contribute at all in the others. Whereas this,
Mhm.
he's a big part of it.
Yeah,
And I mean, he's
I think he's
he's literally the sole driving force of the movie. I would argue because
yeah.
he gets the marking from somebody that he was hired to kill, and then he's the reason they get to the Temple of Light, and then he's the reason that they have to do their tournament thing.
Yeah.
it's kind
because
of
he betrays them.
It's kind of stupid how they recruit him though. When she's like, "I'll give you $3 million," and he's like, "You don't have $3 million," and then she says, "Oh yeah, I do," and he just fucking believes it. I was
Nah,
like,
she turns around. She's like, "Oh fuck you then."
Yeah, but then he like comes back and he's like, "You better have my money." And she's like, "Oh, I do." And then he's like, "You have $3 million."
Well, he's like, he said I would have done it for. He said I was going there anyway, so he called her an idiot. So yeah, that was a pointless scene essentially.
Yeah, it was,
because she's like, "I'll pay you $2 million," and he's like, "No," and then she's like, "Fine," and he's like, $3 million, and then she agrees, and he's like, "Well, I was going there anyway, so you're stupid." And it's like, okay, what the fuck? That whole interaction was pointless.
I honestly forgot about that whole.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't have any significance. I don't mind it. I just love it.
It's just a joke.
Yeah, I just love every scene with
Kano there were some things he was saying that got on my nerves. Just being like, stupidly racially insensitive for the sake of a joke. Like it as a script writing perspective. But he had two of my funniest moments in the movie when he was fighting Liu Kang and he was like fake jumping. So then he's like, "Oh fuck," and then just gets swept again. That I was laughing so hard at that point.
So that's considered an Easter egg because like that's what everybody does too.
Just
when you don't know how when you don't know how people keep jumping and people just leg sweep when they don't know what else to do in the game. So that's just
where he was like, "Is that the only move you know?"
Yeah, right, yeah.
And then we get his bicycle kick in the movie too.
Oh yeah, we do.
I think that a lot of people's signature moves, or I guess you could say, are pretty well telegraphed in this.
Yeah,
Liu Kang's fatality.
Yeah,
no.
Kung Lao's fatality.
Yeah,
that was great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing that really, like, some people are like, "Oh, I love it, yay!" But whenever they were like doing lines from the movie, or Kung Lao's like flawless victory, I wanted to vomit.
Oh yeah, no. Like anytime that they did that, I was like, okay, I get it.
That's like over the top.
No, yeah. Like I get it. Please stop.
Yeah.
Like, when they said it, I'm like, no, we understand. Like, you do not have to be that fucking on the nose with it.
Yeah, the ones that I liked, they weren't really shoehorned in because when they get to that little arena where they have to find their Arcana, I think it's Kung Lao. He's talking to Cool. He's like, "We must test your might." That's like a mini game throughout the series, and so that's fan servicing, but like it made sense.
that one, like, for me, I didn't get that was a reference because it doesn't distract you from the movie. But whenever it's like a whole scene where he fucking splits a bitch in half and then he's like, "Flawless victory," right in the camera, it's like, yeah, we fucking get it. Like, you didn't have to do that.
Other one,
if it comes up organically, then I don't care.
Yeah,
and like the "get over here" thing, they do that in every one because that's just
that's the most iconic.
And it's like, at this point, it annoys me just because that's the thing.
Yeah.
But like, it makes sense in the movie, so it doesn't upset me like that one does.
Yeah.
Or like whenever they're like, "Finish him."
Yeah.
Well,
the other one,
finish him doesn't even bother me because like if it would be like Shang Tsung saying that, like, "Finish him," like that's just an order that he's giving. Like, yeah. Like, that's an organic type of line.
Right.
But when he's like, "Flawless victory," I'm like, dude, like, even if you haven't played Mortal Kombat, you know that's one of the fatalities.
Yeah.
So it's just like, why say it? You know. Everyone on Earth knows. You don't have to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just like one scene where it's just like,
yeah,
like, I was on your side, Mortal Kombat, and then you decided to pull some shit like that.
And the other one that also makes sense is right before Liu Kang and Kano do their little leg sweep thing. Kung Lao does the fight.
Oh yeah, that one's okay.
Yeah, that one's fine too. The other ones, it's the same as the flawless victory thing, but it's funny because Kano does it. It's when he's like, he kills. Everybody says reptile. I don't think it's actual reptile, but
I was letting it go. I think like,
it's his species, like, because I don't have to get into it.
He calls him the reptile of wherever.
Yeah.
So it could just be.
I mean, it could be, but it's a species. They can take more human form, but when they're further away from some source of energy, they go back to being more lizard-like. So that's the whole thing. But when Kano defeats him, and he's like, Kano wins.
Oh yeah, that one.
That one is so good. You fucking beauty.
Yeah, and he did a whole finisher too, where he punched his heart out.
Yeah, so like
that's his original.
When he punched his heart out and he pulled it out, his arm looked significantly smaller, and I thought that his blood was like acid, and it was literally just like eating away at his hand, and he wasn't realizing it at the moment.
Honestly,
but it looked like tiny, like it looked like it was just like the skeletal and like muscle. I was like,
oh,
what?
So like Jax's baby arms.
Baby arms. Yeah. Jax looks the way I feel when I try to punch in my dreams, like where he like has the little baby like robot.
He just looks pathetic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I forget where. I don't know. We're all over the place.
I like how Raiden wasn't whitewashed in this one. He was actually Asian.
That's a big complaint with people. They're like, that he sucks as Raiden. Christopher Lambert's so good.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I've heard so many people be like,
gross.
Christopher Lambert, and I'm like, no.
What the fuck?
I mean, I like that movie, but no. And I like Christopher Lambert. I think he has some funny lines, but no.
The guy who played Raiden was just kind of there.
I mean, yeah, he's a plot device too. He just shields the temple.
Yeah.
To give Kano the opportunity to betray them.
Mm-hmm.
I like Cabal a lot. I thought
Cabal was awesome. Yeah, I really liked Cabal.
I had to really sink in. I mean, he's never like been a prominent character where he has a defined like, oh, he's from here, so he sounds like this. But like the New York-ish accent, I think it's New York.
It was
the sound mixing was strange because he was like at the top of the mix.
Yeah,
and he was like every time he talked, he was like louder than everything.
Yeah.
So it was kind of jarring that way. But
you know what's funny about that is it immediately reminded me of Zori Bliss from Rise of Skywalker because the voice modulation sounded exactly the same.
Yeah, it did.
Where I was just like, oh, did they just like copy whatever filter that was? Because it literally just sounds like the way that she talked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she didn't have like an actual voice because hers was always modulated because of the mask, and so was his. Yeah. But I was like, I'm getting some severe Zori Bliss.
So his accent kind of bothered me the first time in the theater, but I was like, okay, it's fine. Because he doesn't have a set thing. And Kano originally wasn't Australian until the 95 movie. It works.
I was going to say, I've always known him as an Australian person, so I just assumed that it was...
There was like a couple... I think there was a couple earlier games, like at the PS2 era, that he wasn't. And then they finally were like, okay, no, everybody wants him to be Australian, so...
But that seems like such an odd thing. Like, first two games come out and somebody's like, but what if he was Australian?
Maybe the actor that they cast as him was just an Australian man, and he just like looked like him so much that they're like, well, you can play him, and he's like, okay, but I'm just gonna talk normal. They just like changed it because of that. Like that could be it, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, the 95 movie was before there was ever any dialogue in the games.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay. Yeah.
So I mean, that's the first thing that we know. Yeah. But later on, they I think they gave him just a normal American accent.
Okay. See, like,
and then they went back to it.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, that's so weird. Like, they were like, I like it and all, but what if he was Australian? And they're like, why?
Oh, Australian people are criminals.
So, therefore,
he's the head of the Black Dragon? Is that what it is?
He is the Black Dragon.
Yeah. So that was like one thing where it was like, okay, so he's obviously going to betray them at some point. Kano's a bad guy. So
that was a big thing I was worried about. I thought they were going to let him be on the good side for like the whole movie.
I thought they were going to as well, and then I was like, well,
but once he was chained up, it when we first see him, I'm like, oh, okay,
yeah,
we're not going to chase him. They already caught him.
Yeah.
like the scene whenever they're unlocking their Arcana. Well, whenever he unlocks his Arcana, it's pretty good too.
Mm-hmm.
Where they're provoking him.
Yeah.
And I know that was one thing. It was like, oh well, how's he gonna get his laser eye? And that just happens to be his superpower.
I think it was. It seems like whatever your weakest thing is, that's what the Arcana builds to. Like, Cole Young, terrible fighter, takes a lot of hits. So let's give him
armor. Plot armor. It's funny.
Jax, his weakness at the time is his arms.
He has no arms.
Yeah.
Let's give him big arms. So
it's just anchor arms.
Yeah, anchor arms.
This doesn't make as much sense as even those two do, but like Kano, his face is
he
scratched
got
all the
fucked
hell.
up by Reptile.
Yeah. So like, I guess that's why.
That was a funny bit too. Whenever he's did he say not a scratch on me, or he's like, I look.
Luckily, no, you can't even notice.
Oh yeah, you really can't even tell, and it's like this humongous scar on his face. Yeah, that was a good bit. And then Sonya's is just laser hands.
Yeah, and that
one makes no sense.
You know,
that one makes no sense. And the only reason
I know that like she has like a thing like pulsers or something.
Yeah, they're literally gloves.
Yeah, but
so
her just being like.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta say too, the villains aside from obviously Kano and Sub-Zero are dog water.
I don't even know.
They're all shit.
The big dude that's like with Melina and Cabal. Like, I don't even know who that is.
Yeah. Oh, the dude who
the big
Jax
dude with the hammer. Yeah.
The guy who just yelled and swung his hammer around the whole time.
Yeah, I have no idea who that character is.
They're all terrible.
Did he ever have a line of dialogue? Like,
I don't think so. No.
I think he just went and like swung his hammer around a bunch.
Yeah.
No, he did. He said something when they first introduced him, but I think that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, he just screams at Shang Tsung right in his face.
We didn't get much Shang Tsung, but I think the actor, he sounded almost just like
You know, somebody brought up to me
what's his name?
About Shang Tsung, and they're like, why didn't they just recast Carrie? I can never think of his last name.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I'm like, yeah, good point. I'm like, he was good as Shang Tsung. Like, just let him do it again.
But I think this guy.
They even use him in the video games.
Yeah,
he still plays Shang Tsung.
I thought that whoever played him in this movie, I mean, he resembled him remarkably.
Yeah.
So
no,
and I think that he did a perfectly fine job.
I like how
he's good with calculation.
Yeah, and you know that I was like I know that actor, and then I looked it up, and I was like, he's actually in a lot of shit.
Who is it? I mean, I don't need a name.
I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but he
Dark Knight.
He was in The Dark Knight. He was the banker who Batman had to go to Hong Kong and bring him back to Gotham to be tried because he was
embezzling money
and moving it everywhere. And he was also one of the World Council members in Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Oh, okay.
He was basically until the very end, he was a hologram in the big room with Robert Redford.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, I love how when he talks, there's like a demonic voice.
Like an echo, yeah. Kind of like a Mother Talzin from Clone Wars.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, so I really like that little addition there.
So, in this movie, it just like establishes that the Elder Gods don't give a fuck about the tournament.
Because they never did.
Shang Tsung is cheating like constantly.
Yeah.
And then Raiden also is cheating for the sake of Earthrealm, like near the end of the movie.
Yeah, that part actually, like, I mean, that's kind of why Raiden's there in the 95.
Is to protect from the intervention.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's his role in this movie, too. But then he goes out of his way and does some cheating, too.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Yeah.
At least Raiden kept his hat on the entire time.
Yeah, he didn't take his hat off.
And he had glowing eyes instead of just regular old Christopher Lambert and James Remar just being themselves.
I don't think either of them ever
and he didn't
wore
cut
the
his
hat.
hair.
No. Chris had it in the very first scene where they called him a beggar and he had the hat on.
That's it.
Neither of them have like the glowing. Neither of them had the iconic staples of that character.
There's like a backlight to his eyes in one scene, I think.
In one
But
scene.
other than that,
I think when he used his lightning powers, like when he's like enough or whatever, or I don't think so, or whatever he says. Yeah, I think they put like lightning in his eye. But
Yeah, where he just goes.
he didn't say the magic word.
that's one of my favorite scenes. It's so stupid. I love it.
What, in Jurassic Park?
No.
Oh, that's
We got our wires crossed a little bit.
No,
there.
no, I was talking about the I don't think so or whatever.
Oh, I don't even remember that.
He's sitting on the steps.
Oh, yeah. I know which scene you're talking about.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah, he's just standing there watching them like fight.
Yeah.
And he's like, no. Like, it's like, I'll see how far this escalates.
Yeah. So Melina was garbage.
They were all bad. Like I said, they were all bad except for
Cabal was
Kano.
okay.
Oh yeah, I mean Cabal was okay.
Cabal,
but, like
Cabal and
Kano,
Kano
Cabal,
really carried it.
Sub-Zero, like Goro even sucked. Like
Yeah.
those are like the only three villains
Goro-
that actually are any relevance.
I kind of hate what they did with Goro because like he's supposed to be basically the unbeaten champion of the tournament.
And he's literally the first person that Cole kills.
Yeah, like he just
And he just straight up kills him. Yeah. Like, and Cole, when he picks up Cole before his, like, armor grows on him, he's, like, punching him with both arms full force. And I'm like, he should be dead.
yeah.
I'm like, I don't care. Superpowers or not, you should be dead.
Yeah.
He didn't have superpowers
No,
at that point.
he punched him, like, in the neck and in the ribs. And I was like, dude, you're
Yeah,
dead.
he's just like he was like dropping to the ground at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing I don't like. Is the whole Goro thing in this one.
Well, good news is that they take him at the end of the movie, so
Oh yeah.
so he'll probably be back.
Well, they're all going to be back. Kano, everybody.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably, but
Because Shang Tsung says like death is just another doorway. So we only see I think Goro and
Sub-Zero or Taken.
yeah Sub-Zero Melina too.
I guess
I
a
thought one
bunch
of the
of
other
people
ones
were
did.
mad when Shang Tsung sucked out Kung Lao's soul because they were like, oh, you know, it's like passing, but who's gonna save him? And then nobody saves him. And he just dies.
Yeah,
And
that
then-
scene took forever, by the way. Too.
It did. No, and that's what, like, when I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, okay, this is taking a long time. So someone's gonna swoop in and save Kung Lao.
He just
And then he just dies. I was like, what? I was like, that was terrible writing.
yeah, that was a bad scene.
Yeah.
I actually I went to the bathroom during that scene and I came back
And it's
and
still
it just
going on.
like ended. like I left when it started and then I came back and then it ended.
That's like the time that I was at my grandparents' house watching AMC. Like, I always left the TV on when I was going to sleep, and Matrix Revolution was on or Reloaded. What's the second one?
Reloaded.
And what's her face got stabbed and was dying. I fell asleep for like an hour and woke up and she's still dying. Like, I was like, what the fuck is taking you so long to die?
Never saw those movies. Yeah. Where do we want to go? Let's see.
I don't really have anything else to say about it, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I pretty well covered everything.
Yeah, but like I said, the fighting was great. I think the first scene was still the best fight scene of the movie. Like, the ending was okay. Like, the best part of that scene was whenever Sub-Zero cuts Scorpion and then freezes his blood into, like, a blade. But other than that, I think that the first scene with Hanzo just, like, absolutely bodying all of the, I can't remember the name of their tribe, but
Lin Kuei.
yeah, the Lin Kuei, just, like, absolutely massacring them. That was awesome.
Oh yeah.
And then, yeah. So, for future reference, put your best scene of the movie as your marketing. It's still beyond me.
I can't believe that they literally gave away the best parts of this movie, aside from Kano, in the trailer.
I don't think I watched the trailer.
Yeah.
I saw it. I think I only saw it once, so I don't really remember. But
Yeah.
it
But
is.
it's literally all the end fight. There's a little bit of the beginning fight, and Like they just gave it all away.
Huh.
Because that blood blade is in the trailer.
Yeah, and then it showed Kano with his laser eye, so you know that he gets it at some point.
Right.
Yeah. And then obviously we set up for Johnny Cage at the end of this one, because is it Raiden or is it Liu Kang that says we are gonna hunt for the other people with the
I think it's
mark?
Raiden. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna hunt the others.
Yeah, we're gonna kill them, just like Sub-Zero did
Just
at
like
the beginning
Sub-Zero.
of the movie.
Yeah.
Also, what I found funny about Sub-Zero's costume, just a little like thing, was his mask seemed like it was like metallic or metal, but when he takes
like
off
latex.
the hood, it's just like latex because it falls to the floor and just like jiggles like around.
So,
and it's like what?
So one thing that annoyed me in this is, and it could be because that he's a spirit or whatever,
Yeah.
but he takes off his mask when he's fighting Scorpion, and he doesn't have the scar from whenever the Kunai cut him
Oh yeah,
in
that's
the
right.
Hanzo fight.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be like a thing.
Yeah.
Like I thought maybe I saw it on the mask, like it was like shown on the mask that there was a scar there, but he takes it off and it's just his regular face. Because that's like a point of the fight. Whenever he brings the chain back and he grabs the chain.
They did reference that because Scorpion does the same thing where it goes into the wall.
Yeah.
And Sub-Zero
grabs the
catches
chain.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought like obviously
Yeah.
he would have that scar forever because it was like deep on his
And
face.
it could be because I do believe that he died at some point. He's not mortal.
Yeah.
Like so
Yeah, that was just one thing that I thought would have been. I mean, it's such a nitpick, but like I think that would have
but
been.
no, I thought of
much
that
better.
a couple times too.
Or we could theorize about this all we want, or somebody just forgot to put it.
That's extremely true.
Yeah.
In that case, you're docked points because it's your job.
In that case, burn in hell
And we don't have to get into all of them.
with Scorpion.
Like with all these like bad editing, like all this stuff, like there's a lot of Easter eggs and lore throughout this whole movie. We don't have to go into the specifics, but like it's crazy how much is there.
Yeah.
And nobody's gonna catch it unless you're like, you know, everything about
Right.
Mortal Kombat. So I just love that. It made me appreciate the movie even more because there's just all this stuff hidden away.
Yeah, clearly made by somebody who liked the franchise.
Yeah, but it shows that this was a first time director and a first time writer. So like,
I mean, not terrible for your first
No, it's
writing
not,
job,
yeah.
really. I mean, I'm sure it was touched up and everything, but like,
yeah,
like the only
First time writer. Yay! I graduated from I graduated from film school. And they're just like, hey, you should apply for this job. Oh, does it require experience? Well, we prefer it, but I guess it doesn't have to be necessary.
Listen, it's Mortal Kombat. You just show up for work, put in your 10 hours, and then you're
pretend
done.
to click on the keyboard, and then we'll just print out video games and all. What if they just played the video game and like formulated a story based on like playing
they
the
just
video
pick
game?
different things.
Yeah, they're just like, okay, what happens next? And some dude like picks Kano, and he's like, all right, Kano shows up.
He's got a foul mouth.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love it. I understand that it's not a great movie from a film perspective.
It's
I just
fun.
loved it.
It's fun though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
It was never gonna be like the next, Citizen
Godfather
Kane or
or
anything.
something,
Yeah. Which I'm sure that you saw
Yeah.
this. Citizen Kane was toppled as the 100% on, I think it's Rotten Tomatoes, and it was overthrown by Paddington 2.
Paddington 2, based on an 80-year-old review that was published to Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, really?
Yes, a review from when the
William
movie
Randolph
came out.
Hearst, probably.
Probably. So, fun fact, not to tangent, but Citizen Kane got knocked down a peg.
Yeah.
Guess what's still at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes? Godzilla versus Destroyer.
Oh,
Still to this day, 100%.
really?
Yep.
Huh.
I think it's the only Godzilla movie with a 100% rating, which is just mind-boggling to me. But
Yeah, I don't know.
I ain't sticking it at 100%.
Yeah.
It's fine. But anyway, yeah, Mortal Kombat is it's an adequate movie.
Yeah.
Ratings?
R.
Hard R. I don't know how to rate it, because do I rate it from my bias? I don't know. I'm gonna go a 7 out of 10.
Lower than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah. No, I know. Like, I'm taking into consideration, but still with my biased opinion.
Yeah, I'll say 6 out of 10. It is like, it's perfectly average movie, but like just the fun action elevates it a point. I wasn't going there expecting something great. Like the action, you go there to see people fight each other, and that's what you get. And if it's a decent story, which it is, then that's all you can really ask from a Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah, like
the violence.
I'll second the 6, and for the same reasons, because I feel like it's like if Disney said today, they're like, we're doing a Dark Phoenix movie. It's been destroyed twice and shit on, but you're like, man, it's Marvel. I'll go watch it. Like Mortal Kombat, when it was like announced, people were like, this is gonna be so shitty, just based upon the past 2. But they're like, man, that'll be fun. Like, so yeah. It's a 6. It's an adequate, fun action movie that came out a little early, I would say. Because I feel like they put it in April.
I think this was the perfect time for it to come out, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, because it's
I
just
stuck
out
it
of the
in
way of all the
something
other
a bit
big
more.
blockbuster
Yeah.
things where it would 100% be overshadowed, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
But we don't have anything coming out in the summer.
Yeah,
as a
but
blockbuster.
also, like, Godzilla vs. Kong did gangbusters, and that came out not anywhere near where it was supposed to be released. So
No.
this just
Honestly, the pandemic has helped so many franchises that would have just floundered.
just completely been thrown in the bin.
Yeah.
And especially if Godzilla vs. Kong had come out last year, I don't think it would have done
Probably not.
nearly as good.
No, because that's really the first biggest thing to really come out.
Yeah. In basically a year or so.
Yeah.
When people felt comfortable enough to go back to movie theaters.
It saved cinema.
Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, of this episode of On Tap. Make sure to like and subscribe, comment what you think, tell us how we're stupid, and our thoughts about the movie, and catch us in the next one. Finish it.
Get over here.